The universe is like an egg. Let me explain how. At the beginning of time, the Big Bang, or T = 0, the universe was incredibly small and dense and hot and smooth and orderly. This is called a state of low entropy. Entropy is a word that describes the degree of disorder, randomness, or chaos in a given system. Entropy also gives time a direction. The second law of thermodynamics states that entropy increases over time. That is to say, as time passes, the universe naturally becomes more disorderly. This makes sense to us because this is the way our universe works. We're accustomed to an arrow of time. Unlike space, which exists all around us and is observable in 3 directions or dimensions, we can only perceive of time going one way, forward, from low entropy to high. If this wasn't the case, nothing would ever happen. If the early universe had existed in a state of high entropy and stayed that way, we would exist in an equilibrium. According to Dr. Sean Carroll, a cosmologist at Caltech, life is a side effect of the universe becoming more disorderly. Carroll also says that the arrow of time is the reason we remember the past, but not the future. However, the laws of physics don't distinguish between the past and the future in the same way that we do. Physically, they're interchangeable. This means that it would be theoretically possible somewhere in the universe for the past and the future to be reversed. And what about the present? A Harvard psychologist named Dan Gilbert says that the present is a psychological illusion. All moments in time are either in the past or the future. He uses the beach as an example. When you're at the beach, you see 2 things, the ocean and the sand. It looks like there's a line dividing the two where the waves are crashing, but that line is not a third thing. There's just water and sand. Similarly, the line between the past and the future certainly feels like something. It's right now, but really it's just an imagined line. Technically, what we perceive as the present actually happened about 80 milliseconds ago, because that's how long it takes our brains to process the information they're receiving. But back to the past and the future. Physics does not distinguish between them. Carroll has come up with a theory to explain this that he calls two-headed time. He posits that time has actually existed forever. It always has been, and it always will be. Before the Big Bang, he says, entropy was simply moving in the opposite direction. The universe was contracting and becoming less chaotic until it reached minimum size and maximo order. That's when the Big Bang happened, and since then, it's been expanding. In other words, there are actually 2 arrows of time, one going forward and one back. The universe gets larger and more disorderly the farther away it is from the Big Bang in either direction. So that raises the question, what's going to happen next? Will the universe reach maximum size and minimum order? Will some sort of reverse Big Bang happen and the cycle will begin all over again? This brings us back to the egg. An unbroken egg is a low entropy configuration, just like our universe may or may not have been at the start. It also has the capacity to increase in entropy, to be cracked and spilled and scrambled. Carroll points out that an egg is not a closed system, that is to say, it is not isolated. It is subject to external forces. It comes from a chicken. Is it fair to assume then that there is some sort of cosmic chicken that lays low entropy configurations? A larger multiverse that begets, from time to time, universes like ours?